Richard Kone. Let's just start there, Sam, if we can, talking about Richard Kone. I mean, we've talked about his story quite a bit, but it's gone beyond that. It's gone a little bit beyond that. Oh, player from non-league, giving it a go in League One. Like you said, he has now become integral to this season. He's become such an important player for the Chairboys.
Yeah, I mean, he's Wycombe's top scorer this season. 8 in the league, 10 in all competitions. He's the top scorer by a country mile in the squad. So, yeah, really important player for Wycombe. And he's just 21 years of age. 21-year-old strikers who get 10 goals by November in League One are going to be touted by clubs in the Championship and possibly in the Premier League as well, to be honest. For his age and the fact that he's not even had a year in professional football yet. His ceiling is so high. So for Wycombe to have extended his contract, massive for Wycombe, and I think massive for Kone as well, because his development over the last year has been incredible. I remember first watching him, and he scored on his debut, but he looked raw. It was a couple of mistakes in there, and he looked like a player who'd come up from non-league, albeit very talented, but didn't quite look like a professional footballer yet. He had a full pre-season, and he just looks like a different animal this season. He looks like a proper, fully fledged League One striker who's banging in goals week in, week out. So yeah, crucial, I think, for his development that he stays here at Wycombe as he is still developing, and obviously crucial for Wycombe because he's their top scorer and a real asset to the club.
He is a real asset to the club, and I think a lot of it has been about him, maybe Matt Bloomfield, obviously coaching him in the way that he wants him to play and be part of the side, but also making him realise, making him understand, because it doesn't happen straight away. He seems like quite a humble guy, and so he needs to realise, and Matt Bloomfield has helped him. You are a legitimate League One striker. You are a legitimate league footballer, and I think Kone's starting to embrace that now.
Yeah, there's a couple of times when I've spoken to him in interviews and sort of tried to cast his mind back to when he was at Athletic Newham and playing in non-league, but he seems to just take everything in his stride. I think he believes himself that he should be where he is, and I mean, he should. He's one of the top scorers in the division. And you mentioned the point about him being really humble. There was a fans forum on Thursday night, and Jack Grimmer mentioned, and I think this is the first time this has been mentioned, I certainly wasn't aware of it, that Richard Kone gets the bus to and from training every day. And Jack Grimmer was there, and the players didn't realise that, and he sort of said in the fans forum, he should have asked the players, we'd give him lifts, we'd help him out, but he's so humble and down to earth that he remembers his roots, he remembers where he comes from, but he equally believes that he's good enough, and of course he's good enough, and he's had a phenomenal season so far, and it's so great to see him tie down his future to Wycombe.
We're going to talk about Wycombe in general in the next half an hour, Sam, and I'll come back to you, but Shrewsbury have beaten Birmingham by 3-2, which has got, we could talk about that as a result for so many reasons, of course, the links with Wycombe, and indeed leaving Wycombe still 2 points clear, and could possibly be what is it, they could be 35, 5 points clear, yeah, 5 points clear if Wrexham don't get anything. So what a position to be in going into this game.
Yeah, what an incentive that is. I mean, whether Matt Bloomfield mentions it before kick-off, I don't know. It's the sort of sticking carrot sort of debate, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it puts Wycombe in a magnificent position. They obviously had 2 weeks ago, Birmingham were beating Northampton. There was a last-minute equaliser from Northampton, while Wycombe were backs to the wall and defending a 1-0 lead against Wigan. I mean, we're still in November, aren't we? But it's just nice to see Wycombe where they are.
Into League One then. Let's hear about that game up at Lincoln. Lincoln against Wycombe. Sam Avery.
The Chairboys are 4 points clear at the top of the League One table. A 3-2 victory over Lincoln City this afternoon. They went behind in the first half. Tendai Darikwa converting from a Ben House cross, but 2 goals at the end of the first half turned things round before the break. Richard Kone converting from Cameron Humphrey's cross, and then a brilliant sweeping move eventually finished by Onyedinma from close range. They had a chance to make it 3-1 in the second half, but Luke Leahy missed a penalty, or rather had it saved by George Wickens after Onyedinma was brought down, but they did make it 3-1 through Joe Lowe, heading in a Gareth McCleary cross. But then it got nervy with a goal from Darikwa, a stunning strike actually, his second of the afternoon, 3 minutes from time, firing into the top corner from 20 yards, meaning a nervy finale for Wycombe, but it's a 9th straight victory in all competitions for the first time since 1992. Lincoln 2, Wycombe Wanderers 3.